it's Mo. It is the end of the year 2025 and I have gone to my last book sales of the year. So this year, throughout the year, I've been doing a project where I have taken you along with me to all the book sales that I've gone to throughout the year. I go to a lot of book sales, community book sales, library book sales, various other book sales, used book sale places like used bookstores or thrift stores in order to get my books because I do not buy new books. If you want to see all the new books that I've bought since being on BookTube, I have a video that I did this year all about that, and I will leave that listed down below. I do buy a lot of books. I just buy only used books. And part of the reason that I buy a lot of books, obviously, is because I love books and I love reading and I read a lot and I want to read a lot and there are books that I want to read. But partly I love used books because I love like saving objects. I love the idea of old books getting a refreshed life, being revered, being honored by being on my bookshelves, I guess is how it works. Like, I'm always trying to save things from the landfill. I'm always trying to save things from becoming destroyed. I'm always trying to save things, not from entropy necessarily, because we all succumb to that eventually, but from a rapid entropy. If I can keep them on my collection, hopefully that'll preserve them for just that much longer. Now it's the end of the year and I'm currently in the middle of a read what you own challenge, so I am not allowed to go to any more book sales for the end of the year. There was a caveat that the last book sale I could go to was in December, which you will see in this video. So the last two book sales that I allowed myself to go to were the Manasquan book sale, which is in Manasquan, New Jersey. It's a library sale. I went to this earlier in the year too. They have it a couple of times a year and I really liked it. I didn't get any footage of that one this time because as I was at the Manasquan book sale, I realized that there was another book sale happening in another library in Colts Neck, New Jersey. So I decided to go to that book sale. Jeez Louise. Those two were supposed to be my last book sales, but then I extended to be able to also go to my favorite used bookstore that I pay a yearly fee to participate in their community events. So I pay a $50 fee to support the book sale and to be part of the co-op. It's called the Asbury Park Co-op. One of the perks of the co-op is that during their yearly sale, all their used books are $1. So you can get like super new books, super recent books, or super hype books that would normally be used but priced at like $15 for $1. So I did go to that sale as well. And I tried with this video to do what I've been trying to do for the whole year, which is make it more of a vlog, like take you with me to the book sale, but also take you along for the day and kind of show you how I rejoice in book buying when I'm at a used book sale, when I get to buy used books. Also, I want to show you some of the books that I have purchased from those book sales. The most books I have to show you today are from the Asbury Park Book Co-op book sale and the Wall Library sale, which was my little addendum to the Read What You Own. So I did allow myself to go to the Wall book sale because they often have, and certainly did this time, great vintage books. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to go there. Let's look at the books that I got, the ones that I want to highlight for you. Now, it's been over a month since I've gone to most of these book sales, so I don't remember exactly which book sale I got which book, but some of them I can tell because they have stickers on them, like this one. So, Model Home by River Solomon, I got at the Asbury Park Book Co-op. I've read 3 other River Solomon books and really enjoyed them, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. All their books have really dark themes, and this one is supposedly very dark and has a lot going on, but I have really enjoyed all the books that I've read from them so far. And this was one of those books that would have been $15 used if I went into the bookstore and bought it, but because I bought it on the book sale day and I'm a member, I got it for $1. Similarly, I got The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez. This is a collection of horror short stories. I've never read any Mariana Enriquez, but I've heard really great things about her work, and I'm excited to try this one. I believe this is her debut of short fiction, and this is a translated work. This was translated by Megan McDowell, I believe, from Spanish. This one would have been $5 if I had bought it at the sale as a non-member, or if I had bought it on a regular day as a non-member, but I got it for $1. Another book that I got there was Fieldwork. This is a non-fiction. It's called A Forager's Memoir, and it is by Ileana Reagan, and this is a queer memoir, so I'm very interested in that, and obviously it has to do with mushrooms and foraging. Sounds very exciting. This one, again, I think would have been $10 or $15. I got The Widow Basquiat. I think I got this one at the Coltnet book sale. I've been looking for this one. It's by Jennifer Clement. It's another nonfiction book, and it is Jennifer Clement's memoir of her life with Basquiat. A few years ago, since joining BookTube, I did read a biography of Basquiat, which I thought was really bad and poorly written, but was really fascinating in its subject matter. I got Mr. Loverman by Bernardine Evaristo. I have 3 now Bernardine Evaristo stories that I really need to read. This is about a man who has kind of led a double life. He's been queer his whole life, but he's married to a woman, and then he has a lover on the side who is like his husband. Oh, I was super excited to find this one. This was a $1 book and would have been a $1 book no matter what, but I was super stoked to find it. It is called Beyond Black Bear Lake by Anne LaBastille, and it's the sequel to Woodswoman, which I read a few years ago and I really enjoyed. I love stories of people living lives that they create. So I love stories of sustainable lives. I love the stories of cyclical commerce lives. I love stories of pioneering lives, and this is her continuation of the book that she wrote like in the, I think, 60s, 70s, and 80s. So I'm very excited to be back with Anne LaBastille and hear more of her story. At the Asbury Park Book Co-op, there were a lot of Jamaica Kincaid books, so I was so excited to find these old like library versions of Jamaica Kincaid's work. I love Jamaica Kincaid's work. This is Mr. Potter, and this is the autobiography of my mother, which is a fictional story. But there was also a collection of short stories, and I think one other book that I got, so I'm super excited to have more Jamaica Kincaid on my list. I also got We Ride Upon Sticks by Quan Berry there. I've always really wanted to read this ever since I heard Books and Lala talking about it. It's one of her favorite books, and it is like a choral voice book about a collection of girls who are in a field hockey team. I've been wanting to read Thank You for Listening by Julia Whalen for a while. Now I'm realizing that it has mixed media, so I'm kind of glad that I got it physically, but even though I got it physically, I think I will probably read it on audio because it is written by the audio narrator of many books that I love, Julia Whalen. So I love her voice and I love to hear her read books, so I think her reading her own book would be pretty fun. I got a little self-published or indie published book about New Jersey. This is The Cape May Garden, Cape May Book 1 by Claudia Vance. This seems to be a very short novella series about Cape May, New Jersey, so I'm very excited to read this one. I picked up Detective Auntie by Uma Halaluddin, who is the author of Aisha at Last. I actually did a try chapter with that book and I decided that I didn't want to keep it. This is a 2025 release, so I'm sure I got this for less than $1. I probably got it for like 50 cents at a book sale, if not less than that. So it just goes to show you that if you're interested in new releases, if you're interested in new books, you can get those at book sales for cheap. Lots of people buy new release books. I just personally don't believe in buying new anything, so I think it's great that someone bought this, they read it, they donated it, and now I get to read it, and you know, you never know, the same thing might happen to me. I was interested in Aisha last, but I didn't end up keeping it. It wasn't for me, but that didn't mean that I wasn't interested in this author or this writing, and I think a cozy mystery is definitely going to keep my attention more than a traditional romance. So I've already read The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, but something that I wanted to do, because I have 4 of his books on my shelf, is swap out the first one, because I have the first one in softcover, but I would much rather have them all in hardcover because I do like these and I do see myself eventually going back and rereading this series. So I was super happy to find this one at a used book sale. Again, super easy. I was thinking about it. I saw it at a used book sale. I picked it up for probably 50 cents and now I have a hardcover copy. And I'll be donating my softcover copy probably to a little free library. I also picked up a hardcover of The Leftover Woman by Jean Kwok. This has been on my want to read list and I don't really remember what it's about, but I'm interested to read it. It's a pretty short, under 300 page, I think like mystery thriller by a Korean author. I believe she's Korean. And another cool thing about going to a library book sale or a used book sale is that sometimes you can find autographed books. So I've gotten a couple recently this year. Autographed books don't really mean that much to me, but again, if you are looking for something like this, you can get it used. And then what I think would be super fun to do is, like, if I loved this book and then I got the opportunity to meet this author, I could bring this book with me and she could sign it again, but personalize it to me, which I think is always super fun. Randomly, I found The Moviegoer by Walker Percy. This book is one that I was interested in because it takes place in New Orleans, but that's about all I know about it. And then I also found King Zeno by Nathaniel Rich. I had never heard of this book, but it also takes place in New Orleans. The cover intrigued me. I opened up the flap to see what it was, and now I'm super excited to read it because I love books set in New Orleans. So those were all the books that I got that I'm going to show you that were books that I'm interested in, books that I want to replace on my shelves. But look at all these great vintage Mary Robert Reinhardts and Agatha Christie's that I got. I'm so excited whenever I find these, and these are the kind of books that I mean when I mean saving a book. So I did get Cat Among Pigeons, which is a Poirot mystery by Agatha Christie. I haven't delved into the Poirot series that much because I'm reading all of Miss Marple first, but I love having all the different vintage coverways of Agatha Christie's work. I also got Cards on the Table. These ones are so fun. These like kind of even smaller, even cuter, older vintage paperbacks. This is also a Poirot mystery. I picked up a copy of The Skull Beneath the Skin by P.D. James. This is the second in the Cordelia Gray mysteries. I read the first in this series, but I'm working my way through all the Adam Dalgliesh before I reread the first one and then move on to the second. One last Agatha Christie, The Moving Finger. This, I believe, is a Miss Marple book, and I have already read this one. What a great cover. It has like a skull on a vase, and the skull's arm is writing SOS. Like, how could you not love these covers and want to save them and want to just admire them on your shelves? The rest are all Mary Robert Reinhardt books. This one, in the least good repair, it is The Swimming Pool by Mary Robert Reinhardt. Then I have The Case of Jenny Bryce, which I have already read. I loved this one. I think I read this one last year, and it was one of my favorites. And this year I read The Man in Lower 10. I love, love, love this cover. I love that the whole kind of background cover is the curtain of the train sleeping car. So great. This one was also really fun and exciting. And then I was super excited to find this one, which is 2 short novellas, The Confession and Sight Unseen. And these are some that I have never seen before and have wanted for my collection, so I'm super excited to have them now. And they've got a beautiful cat on the cover. Like, how fantastic. I also got the episode of The Wandering Knife, which I am not sure is a novel or short stories. Looks like a novel. Another great vintage cover. So those are all the books that I got at library sales recently, my last library sales of the year. I have not fully 100% decided what I'm going to do about library sales going forward into 2026. I have not fully decided what I'm going to do about this series, but I think in January I am going to do a video where I talk through all my thoughts on this series and on my shopping habits and on library book sales. In that, I might also have footage, or I might even put out another episode, because I know I went to some sales that I shot footage of, but I don't think I ever put them out. I definitely lost track somewhere along the lines of all the library sales that I went to. So it might be fun to add that footage into that kind of wrap-up video. So you might see some sales from over the summer that I hadn't talked about, or some insights that I've had, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Let me know how you buy books. Do you buy new books? Do you buy used books? Do you use your library? Do you go to library book sales? Do you save books like I save books? Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!